Hey guys, this is Patrick with Patch Tech Review, and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about OBS, or Open Broadcast Studio. I'm going to be showing you how to download this particular program and also how to use it in order to help you to create different YouTube videos. We're going to go into the details about that and also show you how to set it up. So stick with me. Let's go. Alright guys, first of all, OBS or Open Broadcast Studio is an open source software that you can use to stream to either YouTube or Twitch, and also it can help you to create content for either YouTube or any other service that you're using to create videos. This software is free to use, but you will have to know how to use it in order to get the most out of it. Also, if you want to create videos for YouTube, you want to use a program like Premiere Pro or whatever else that you may want to use in order to go back and edit this content that you're making that's coming out of OBS. So this is a great way to get video clips and other little things that you can use for content whenever you're recording videos. The first thing you want to do is you want to actually download the software in order to use it. So you want to go to the official website, which is obsproject.com, which is up here. Once you go to that particular site, you'll be prompted to download for Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Of course, I'm Windows, so of course you click on that, and then you go ahead and you download the software. From there, once you're all set up and download it, you're going to open up your OBS, and when you open it up, it's going to come to your screen just like this. It's just going to be blank. All right, guys, so once you've downloaded OBS, the first thing that you want to do is actually open it up. And when you open it, you're going to be presented with this blank screen. Doesn't look very impressive right now, but you do have the options to go in and adjust the settings. This is the first thing that I would recommend. So you want to go down here to settings, and then you want to click on that. And once you click on settings, the first thing that you want to do is go to video. You want to make sure that you have your base canvas and your output set to the same thing. I like to stream, or not stream, but record at 1920 by 1080. So that's your base canvas. So this black screen on the bottom will be that size. Next, you want to go to your output, and your output, most likely you want to keep that the same as your base canvas, which is 19 by 20. This will put less strain on your CPU or computer whenever you're doing work. For the downscale filter, you want to click on that, and I like to use just the 16 samples. If you want to get higher quality, you can go with the 36 samples, but I find that 16 is perfectly fine, and it puts less load on my computer. And then the next thing you want to look at is your FPS, or which is your frames per second. Since I record at 30 frames per second, I normally leave it at that. Because that's where I record at on my camera. But if you want to catch like high speed things like video games or anything of that matter, you want to go down to 60 frames per second. But I kind of leave it at 30, because even if I am doing 60 frames per second, it would actually reduce down to 30 pretty well. The next thing that you want to do once you have all that set up is go over to output. And there are two different modes in output. There's simple, and then there's advanced. Right now we're just going to do simple for now, so I can show you exactly what to do with this. So we go into simple, and again, we're just doing recording. First thing you want to do from here is click on browse, and when you click on browse, this is pretty much going to allow you to pick where you want your videos to go. You can pick the folder. I made a folder for OBS Studio videos, so I just select my folder there, and then it goes there. For recording quality, I like to keep it at high, medium file size. You can do indistinguishable quality, which are large files, or lossless quality, which are tremendously large files. But I find that high quality works perfectly fine for me. The next thing you want to do is set up your recording format. Some people like to record in FLV, which gives you a backup of your file, but I find that MP4 works perfectly fine. But just realize and notice that if you are recording in MP4 or MOV, that if your computer crashes or shuts down, you won't have a way to recover those particular files. But again, for me, I really find that I'll take that risk. All right, guys, after you select your recording format, you want to go down to encoder. And then when you go down to encoder, you can select how you want it to encode the video. If you have a dedicated graphics card, I would recommend that you use that particular hardware, because that will put less strain on your CPU. So I selected hardware AMD. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you would actually see hardware, and in the parentheses, you'll see NVENC. And that's NVIDIA's graphics encoder, which is pretty good. But again, I will always choose hardware over software. If you do not have a graphics card, then I would select software times 264. But since I do have a graphics card, I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm going to click apply. But before I go to apply, I want to actually show you guys some advanced settings that you can also go through as well to get the best quality out of this. So I go over to advanced and I click on recording. Remember, I'm doing a recording video, and the type I select standard, and then you can select your path as well. Again, I still have it as the D drive for my OBS videos, and my recording format, again, I selected MP4. Audio tracks, we can get into that a little bit later, but pretty much audio tracks is you can select the amount of tracks that you have and that you're going to use in post, and you can assign these later on down the line, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Rescale output, I don't want to do that. For my presets, I don't have any presets that are set. What I like to do is go to quality preset, which is balanced, and I like to, for my rate control method, I like to use variable bit rate. And there's a reason for that. So if I'm doing just a talking head video like I'm doing now, I'll just go ahead and click on variable bit rate, and that will actually give me the best bit rate possible for the type of video that I'm doing. So even if I'm recording a video game with this particular software, it will be able to increase the bit rate as needed. For my target bit rate, I like to set it to 40,000, and for my peak bit rate, I like to set it at 60,000 because I want to get the most quality that I can. And for the keyframe interval, I set it to 2. Some people set it to 0, which is auto, but I set mine to 2. And then the view mode, I leave that at basic. Okay. And then from there, just click apply and then click OK. And now we go on to the next step. Now that that's set up, there's nothing here now. And you have to use scenes, which is right here. So once you go over the scenes, you actually click on the plus button and you can name your scenes. So I'll call this YouTube T for tutorial. All right. And I click on OK. So I click on this particular scene and I'll go over here to sources. And then when you go over to sources, this is where you can add certain things like your video camera and all of those other things. So I click on plus, and if I want to add a video camera, I'll go over to video capture device, and I'll name this M50 since I'm using a Canon M50 connected to the computer, and I'll select OK. So after I select OK, it's going to bring up this particular screen, and then, hey guys, then you'll see me here. Then if you want to select any device, you have to click on devices, and then you can select which device you actually want to use. So since I use the EOS webcam utility with my M50, I use that. I also have the HD Pro webcam that I use as well for work. But I do find that sometimes it doesn't give me the best quality. So that's why I started going with the Canon M50. So I select that, and resolution, you can leave that at default. You can also customize it, and when you customize it, you see it goes away, and the resolution, you can set it to whatever the camera's outputting. So mine's outputting at 1024 by 576. It's not 1080p, but I mean, that's what I get right now because I don't have it hooked up with an HDMI cord. Video formats, any color space, I leave all that the same. And if you want to capture audio from this particular device, you can actually click on capture audio only, and then you can use a custom audio device if you want to. And from here, you can actually select where you want your audio to come from. I'm not going to mess with that just now because I am going to be using this particular microphone that I'm speaking on now. So I'm just going to click OK. But if you do want to use audio from your camera or from your webcam, you can actually select that by clicking on using custom audio device and then selecting wherever you want that to come from, your audio that is. So I'm going to click OK for my purposes, and here we are. I'm on the screen. Yay. See, I'm on the screen, guys. Hey, I'm on the screen. So the next thing that you want to do is right click. As you can see, it's not covering the entire screen. There are two things that you can do. You can either drag it all the way so that it fits into the screen, or you can right click and go to transform and then go down to fit the screen, or you can hit the shortcut, which is Control F on your keyboard, and that will also fix it to your screen as well. So I'm going to leave that as such. And now the next thing that I want to do is add another scene. So just depending on what I want to do, say for instance, I want to, add audio. Okay, we're add audio. And if you have a USB microphone or any other type of microphone that you can plug into your computer, you can actually choose whichever audio device you want to record your audio from. So I'm going to go to audio input capture, and from there I'm going to say mic. I'll just call it mic 1. Okay, so I click on mic 1 and click OK, and then it'll give me a list of devices that I can choose from. Right now I'm using my Moano microphone, cheap $60 microphone from Amazon, comes with the stand and everything that you see here. Whenever I choose my microphone, I put in mic 1 and then I choose my devices. I'm going to choose the Moano microphone because that's the one I want to use. And if I wanted to use the microphone from any place else that I have, like with my webcam, I can choose that. But since I have this, which is the best microphone that I have right now, I'm going to choose that. And since I'm using that, I'm going to choose it and click OK. Now from there, you can look down here on the screen and you can see mic 1 and you can see my audio levels, and you can actually drag your audio levels down or up in order to adjust how loud you want it or how soft you want it. So if you're doing any type of voiceovers, or if you're just doing a talking head video like I am now, you can just leave your levels as such. And as you can see, the M50 doesn't have any audio coming through because I didn't select any audio to come from the M50. So that's why you don't see that going right now. So now that I have that set up, my camera, if you want to do like a talking head video where you have yourself down in the corner of the video, what you're going to do is you can slide this slider down and get your proportions right, get how big you want it, and you can leave yourself down in the corner. And so if you want to add something like a let's say a web page, or say for instance you want to do what I'm doing, which is recording my screen. So if you want to add something like that, you go back to your sources and then you press the plus button. And for me, I like to do display capture. There are other ways that you can do this, but I like to press on display capture. You can use window capture, or you can use browser. Browser to me is one of the hardest ones to use because that requires you to open up another window. So I like to stick with display capture. So I'm going to add that, and I'm going to call this display 1. Okay. So display 1 is going to give me an option. I have 2 monitors, so it's going to give me an option of which monitor I want to choose. So my second monitor, as you can see, I actually have OBS running because I'm using it to record this video, but I also have OBS open in this other window. So I'm going to click on that and then click OK. All right, you guys, so I have my display up and I have my camera up as well. One thing that I do want to point out is these sources, they're actually layered. So if I had display 1, if I go down here and grab display 1 and pull it above the camera, you won't be able to see the picture. So you want to make sure that you have your camera pulled up to the top and then display second. Audio, it really doesn't matter where you have that at, just as long as you have it on your screen, have it up and you can see it going. It will continue to keep recording. So on this particular screen, say for instance, I want to do a talking head video on something that I saw in the news, or even OBS Studio. Let's say I want to do it on OBS Studio. So I'll pull up my OBS Studio window. So whatever that appears in this particular window, I can actually, pull up and you can see exactly what I'm seeing live and in real view. So, and many people do this whenever they're doing certain videos like reaction videos on YouTube. So I think this is actually an easy way of doing it. So that's one way. Another thing that you can do with OBS Studio, which I think is really, really cool, is you can set up so many different types of sources. So if you want to have an image, so say for instance I want to have an image of my my logo here. So if I do want to have an image of my logo, I'll open this up. And I put logo. I click OK, and then it'll take me to files where I can browse. And then when I browse these files, I'll find my picture and a transparency picture, and I click OK. And then it pops up on the screen. As you guys can see, it's popped up. So I can actually take this logo. When I click it, I can make that logo smaller. And I can pretty much put that anywhere I want to put it. So I'll put it in the top right hand corner. It's good to have a transparent logo. You don't necessarily have to have a transparent logo, but you know, if you're streaming or if you're recording, I would recommend that you do have a transparent logo. I actually got this done on Fiverr for real cheap. So if you guys are looking for any types of logos and stuff, Fiverr is the place to go. So now I have my video here, and then I have my logo up here. And I mean, things are looking pretty good. So this is pretty much how I would do it if I was doing a YouTube video, or if I was doing any type of video for that particular matter. This is kind of how I would do it. Have that up and move with that. If I just wanted to record this now, I would go down to the right hand side and I would click on start recording. And once I click on start recording, it will start recording to the file location. And then when I click on start recording and I click on stop recording, it will actually record to the location where I wanted it to go in the first place. So again, many different ways you can use this, many different scenes you can set up. Actually guys, earlier I did have the audio tracks all set up when I clicked on 1 through 4, and I talked about how those particular tracks, you will want to have all those different tracks if you're recording different things. And this is why I say that. So say for instance, I want to record an audio track, or if I want to record my desktop audio, I will go to audio output capture, and then I will click on OK. And then from there, I'll select my Realtek speakers, and then I'll select OK. All right, so you can see in the audio mixer, it comes up right there in the audio mixer. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure it's working first of all. So I'm going to pull up a YouTube video off to the side here, and I just want to make sure it's working. So I'm just gonna click play on that.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did like the video, please hit the subscribe button down the bottom.
You can see this is Pat's moving there. You can adjust the volume down or up.
Hopefully you guys can grow with me and I grow with you. Please send me any suggestions that you guys would like to see inside the next video. And
now the step that I did was I selected how many channels I wanted. So that's if I'm going to be working in post in Premiere Pro or whatever software you want to use. If I want to separate those particular channel tracks. So how you do that is you click on this little gear icon, and then you go down to advanced audio properties. And when you open it up, you see all the tracks that I selected when I first set it up. I selected 4 different tracks. And what I like to do is go and I like to keep my mic on channel 1. I like to keep my mic on channel 1. So I know it's recording on that particular track. And then I would like to put like my desktop audio or whatever audio capture on channel 2. And then you have all those additional channels that you can actually use in order to record different tracks. So if I had like a video capture card, I would have video capture card, and I would have another track, just so I'm not recording everything on one channel. So if something does come out messed up, or if I want to turn the volume down a little bit, I can do that with certain tracks in post. Okay, so that's one thing that you do want to take a look at. And another thing is, once you have all those tracks set up, you won't be able to hear them all. So say for instance, you go into something like VLC player and you try to play it back, you may only hear the main track that's on track 1, which will be your microphone audio or whatever audio you set to track 1. And the reason for that is because you made so many different tracks. So if you don't want to go down that path, or if you're just starting off and you don't have any type of recording or editing software, then just put everything on one track. But you just have to be mindful that once you go into post, if you do have a video recording software and you go into post, and you get ready to adjust your audio or whatever have you, that everything will be on one channel and you won't be able to change it. So again, I'll show you guys one more time. Playing the video, it's working, and it's going to come up on track 2. So when I go into post like Adobe or whatever have you, and I actually paste this clip into edit it, you'll see 2 different audio tracks. So that's why I said it's important to go ahead and set up all that stuff in the beginning, because if you don't, audio tracks may not show up, or multiple tracks may show up on one channel, which is something you don't want, especially in post. All right, guys, in the next video, I'll show you guys how to use a capture card with the OBS Studio. I didn't want the video to run too long. So again, if you guys did like the content, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. And again, this is Patrick with Pat's Tech Review. Peace.